American and worldwide audiences have long thrilled to the classical music of Israeli virtuosos like Yitzhak Perlman, Pinchas Zuckerman, and Yefim Bronfman, and the Israel Philharmonic Orchestra. But now Israeli musicians are also a significant part of the global jazz and world music scene. I met recently with two stars. At the top of the jazz scene is Anat Cohen, Israeli-born clarinetist, composer, and bandleader. Anat is hailed for her jazz virtuosity and passionate performance. When Anat is not performing around the world, you can see her play at one of many clubs in New York City where she lives. I met up with her recently at the Jazz Standard. I asked Anat why the clarinet is so special to her.
It's so expressive. It's an incredibly expressive instrument. It was extremely famous in the 30s and all over the years in jazz here in the United States, but of course coming from Israel, coming from the tradition, the gypsy tradition, the klezmer tradition. I mean, it has the ability to sound so human.
Anat grew up in a musical family in Tel Aviv.
Mom played music for kindergartens, teaching kids music, and father had a huge amount of knowledge about all styles of music, classical music, jazz, popular music, and they let their three children become jazz musicians.
Eventually, all three of the kids became world famous. Yuval Cohen plays soprano saxophone, and Avishai Cohen the trumpet.
My brothers are my inspiration. They're amazing people. We have a band together called the Three Cohens. Of course, that's my father calls it Three Cohens in the Fountain.
In addition to the clarinet, Anat also learned to play the tenor saxophone. Like the Cohen siblings, a lot of young people in Israel study jazz.
It's music that it symbolizes freedom and freedom of expression. And you can really find who you are, and you can be all sweet, and you can be screaming, and you can do that through music.
Anat moved to the U.S. to further her jazz studies, ending up in New York City. She soaked up the different styles of jazz, Brazilian, Afro-Cuban, klezmer, and classical music, and made them her own. She's received many accolades, including Top Jazz Clarinetist of the Year in critics' and readers' polls, plus Grammy nominations in 2018 for 2 albums with Brazilian artists. Her heroes?
Benny Goodman, of course, beautiful tone and the arrangement, the sound, the swing. Sidney Bechet, passion, fire. I like fire in music. I like to be able to go straight, penetrate into somebody's heart.
You know, it's marvelous the way you play because you make it like a voice. So can you make your instrument say, I love you? Can you make it say, I'm angry? Ooh, can you make it say, I'd like to get to know you better? You're marvelous. You are fantastic.
Anat especially loves to perform at home in Tel Aviv.
Going home and playing for my first piano teacher, for my mother, for my family, for my aunts. It's just so emotional to look around and see eyes of people you grew up with.
Another groundbreaking Israeli performer, Ravid Kahalani, mixes music, dramatic clothing, and exuberant performance to make a statement.
I believe music is one of the greatest tools to kind of reminds us who we are as human beings.
Ravid created Yemen Blues. They play a special blend of Yemenite Jewish music combined with blues, soul, and African root music. Yemen Blues is made up of some of the top musicians from around the world putting on one of the most exciting live performances you will ever see. Key to his music is growing up in a Yemenite Jewish family in Israel.
My father was very strict with us of how we need to learn how to say the prayers and be there with all the energy and all the feeling of it. And then I left home, and then I was, listening to all kinds of things like Pink Floyd and Bob Marley. In a later part of my life, I understood why I was being so attracted to the jazz and blues, because it was kind of the same feeling of the Yemeni chants.
His soulful chanting comes out in his songs in Hebrew, French, English, and Arabic, connecting with people from around the world, including across the Middle East.
I have many fans from Arab countries that comes from Muslim life. And when I, as a Yemeni Jew, sing in Arabic and live in Israel, when they hear and feel and see that I'm part of them and they are part of me, they feel proud.
The message is in a way peace. It's like be open to each other.
The moment that you are on stage, you actually responsible for all these people to feel something very specific and very important. This comes through the clothes that I wear, through the dance that I do, through the energy that I keep or release. I feel super lucky. I believe in music changing nations, changing humanity, changing everything.
Next up on the plate of this ever-evolving musician, moving to New York City and working on a project connecting gospel and Arabic harmonies.